The object up on the screen is what is called a development. When this object is folded up, it will create a three-dimensional shape. So a development is just the flat representation of a 3D object. So I'm going to click on the button up here to show you what that shape would look like. It's a very simple shape and probably a shape that in industry you would never encounter in terms of creating from a flat state, but it's good practice on what you would be doing creating sheet metal parts. I would guess that the only other potential job market that you would make developments for would be in a box factory. And I don't think any of you will ever work in a box factory, but I have a good, there's a good chance that you'll be making sheet metal parts. So I'm going to show you how to start with a solid and convert to a sheet metal. And then I will also show you how to start with a flat and fold into a 3D object. Later on, we're just going to do more practical sheet metal parts, and there's a lot more tools that make that process a lot easier. So I'm going to delete what I have here and start from scratch. So when you have SolidWorks open, you're going to need to have the sheet metal tab up here. So if you right click on any of these tabs here and check sheet metal, it'll give you access to this tab. And then the tool we're going to use for now is the convert to sheet metal button. So I'm going to click on that. And now the first thing I want to select is my fixed entity. So what is the surface that everything else is going to fold about? So I'm going to select the bottom of the part. And then my next step here is to select my edges that I want to bend. So when I click on an edge, say this one, you can see kind of how that highlighted yellow. I'm going to actually exit out of here real quick and show you what that will look like. So that's now the part converted to sheet metal. I'll hit it flatten, and it's just a very simple piece here. So I'm going to make, as you just saw, the entire part out of this sheet metal. I'm going to right click on this again, edit, and start going around. So I'll fold up here. Come on, oh, got to select over there. Select the edge. I'm just going to go around here and fold all these up at 90 degrees. And then I'm going to select this edge and this edge. I could continue selecting these up this way into this edge, but when you get to doing this from the flat and up, I'll show you this later, but you can only go 90 in one direction. So this would go up 90, over 90, and then have to kind of go in a reverse 90. So you'd have to do more features in that, doing it that way. So I'm going to leave that unselected, and I'm going to select this edge and then these two edges. And then hit check. There's another option here that we'll use with your exercises to change the gap between the bent edges. So I'm going to switch that over to just say like 1. At some point it will cause an error if I get too close, so I'm just going to leave it at 1 and then hit check. So I'm going to provide you several simple parts, and you're going to practice converting them all into a sheet metal part, which will then in turn help you start from the flat and fold into 3D. I'm gonna swap over to starting this with a flat and folding it into a 3-dimensional part.